Hey, what's up everyone? Dan Fletcher with episode number 10 of Let's Learn Ruby on Codecademy. So in the last episode we looked at how to make methods in Ruby, and we learned how to do some different methods of sorting arrays in ascending or descending order. And we also learned a little bit about an operator called the comparator operator, which helped us change the way that we sort our arrays. So today it looks like we have a little project called ordering your library. So let's just jump into it. So start lesson. Okay, what you'll be building. We noticed in the last lesson that .sort didn't have a built-in way of handling sorting in reverse alphabetical order. Now that we know how to write our own Ruby methods, we can fix that. Well, I kind of proved that it sort of does have a built-in way of reversing it, right? I just called .reverse after sort. Anyway, the code in the editor should look familiar. There's only one new idea. On line 1, when you're ready, click run to execute the code and start building your own method. So yeah, let's just take a gander here and see if we can figure this out. So we are... You know what, let's skip the method for now. Let's just read from here down, and then we'll jump into the method and see what the method does. So we have a books array, bunch of books, and then we're printing A to Z, and then we're inserting alphabetize, like we're calling the alphabetized method, and just passing books to it. So I'm guessing alphabetize basically is going to sort this books array and I don't know, I guess print out like a string of books in alphabetical order, or maybe just return the array, I'm not sure. And then so in Z to A, it looks like we can actually pass this alphabetize an optional parameter. Sorry, hang on. Just my dog greeting somebody at the door. So alphabetize looks like we can pass it an optional parameter, and I'm assuming if you set this to true, it's basically like saying reverse the order of books. So let's just dive into the actual alphabetize method. So it takes an array as its first argument, and then rev, which I guess is probably short for reverse. So if reverse is false, that's probably this like else part. So if reverse is true, we're going to array.sort, and then so we pass it item 1, item 2, and then basically if item 2 is greater than item 1, return item 2. And from like the last episode, we know that this is how we're going to reverse the sorting. Else, yeah, just kind of the standard way to call sort. And actually this probably isn't even necessary. You could probably just call sort and delete all of this, and the method would work exactly the same. So let's just run it and see what we get. So yeah, we have A to Z, and then it just outputs the contents of the array A to Z, and then we do it again, only Z to A. Cool. So defining our method. First we'll need to define our alphabetized method. Define alphabetize in the editor to the right. It shouldn't take any arguments yet, and there doesn't need to be anything in the body of the method. So let's define alphabetize with no arguments. We'll do oh wait, hang on. Code, and we'll run it. Cool. So default parameters. Let's start with the new bit of code you saw in exercise 1. The first part makes sense. We're defining a method alphabetize. We can guess that the first parameter is an array, but what's... hang on. The first parameter makes sense. We're defining a method alphabetize. We can guess that the first parameter is an array, but what's this? Rev equals false business. what this does is tell Ruby that alphabetize has a second parameter, rev for reverse, that will default to false if the user doesn't type in 2 arguments. You might have noticed that our first call to alphabetize in exercise 1 was just this with 1 argument. Ruby didn't see a rev, so it gave it a default value of false. And a lot of programming languages give you that syntax too. Update your alphabetize method with 2 parameters, r representing the array to be passed in, and rev, a boolean that defaults to false. So r rev equals false. Run the code, and it's green. Next. Great, now let's add a little logic to our method. In the above example, we create a new array called numbers, then we sort the array. Finally, we print out 1, 3, 5, 8, which is the sorted array. In Ruby, there are 2 sorting methods, .sort or sort with exclamation mark. The first method, .sort, simply returns a sorted array while leaving the original array alone. The second method, .sort with the exclamation, modifies the actual array. Okay, so inside your method, add a line that calls .sort with the mutation option on the R array. Since it is the last line of the method, the sorted array will be returned. Now test your work. After your method, make a new array called numbers that contains contains a few numbers like the example above. Call your alphabetized method with your numbers array as the parameter inputs the result to the console. Okay, so we'll go r dot sort exclamation. Make a new array called numbers that contains a few numbers. Call your alphabetized method with your numbers as a parameter inputs the result to the console. So we'll go numbers equals, and we'll just do a bunch here, and then we will put alphabetize numbers. We'll run that. Cool, and we're green. So yeah, the I'm not sure if other people maybe would be a bit confused by this, but like some programming languages this wouldn't work, i.e. PHP. So in PHP, like arrays are just primitive data types, and like a lot of programming languages will pass primitives as a value. Right, so if I pass this numbers array, I pass it to this function, and then we call array.sort. Well, because I'm not like returning the value of this, even though I'm mutating array here, and again, in PHP, this is how it works. Even though I'm mutating the array inside this function, if I were to output this, if this was like PHP, like this would just return nothing. I think it would just be null, actually. I'm not 100% sure what the value would be. I think it's null. But, and Ruby might do the same thing. I'm guessing Ruby probably treats primitives like that. The difference, though, is that Ruby treats arrays as objects. And in a lot of programming languages, objects get passed as a reference, which basically just means that this numbers array is pointing to a place in memory. And when I pass it into this function, and I call this array.sort, which mutates the value of that array, this value here, array, is pointing to the same place in memory as my numbers array. So whatever I do, if I mutate it or add values to it, or anything that I do in here is going to happen to numbers out here, and that's why this works. Anyway, moving on. So sorting with control flow. Great. Now we need to add the right logic to our method. In the example above, we create an array called numbers. Then, wait, hang on, what? Did we not just do that? Right. Sorry. That threw me off a bit. Okay, we need to add the right logic to our method. In the example above, we create an array called numbers. Then we reverse the array, like with dot sort exclamation. The exclamation mark means we modify the actual array. Remember that. So finally, we print out 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. After your dot sort call, add an if-else statement. If rev is true, call reverse on R, else return R. Keep your numbers array and the put statement so that you can see your work in action. So we'll do if if rev, we will call R dot hang on, sorry. After your sort call, add. Oh, I see what it wants us to do. Basically this, and then if rev array dot reverse and if. I'm not really sure why I need to return anything. I mean, like this should work, right? So if I syntax error unexpected end of input, how do you do it? Oh, maybe it's just end. Right. Looks like your method doesn't default to alphabetizing an array when it doesn't receive a second parameter. I feel like this should work. Array.sort. If reverse is true, do this. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything. An array is just supposed to be sorted. Right? Can I comment this out? Oh, we can't do control slash. Whatever. Just cut that out. Right, that works. If rev is true, reverse it. Why would I have to return the array? That's super confusing to me right now. So if I don't have the if statement, this works. If I had the if statement, which isn't getting executed, it doesn't work. What happens if I pass true here? And it works. What? This is boggling my mind. Holy cow. Why would that matter? I don't know. If you know why this doesn't work. So like reverse is just defaulting to false. So this isn't true, which is just the end of the function, right? This should still have mutated array. So when I print the value of this, it should still be printing the numbers array, should it not? I'm super confused. Anyway, okay, let's just do what they want us to do, which is an else if, or not even an else if, just an else. Else return R end and run that. Yeah, I don't know. That's super weird to me. And then if I pass true, it's in reversed order. Okay, let's just move on. So you did it for real this time. Well done. You now have your very own method that adds functionality that Ruby didn't have before. Building your own methods is great for using code over and over without having to retype things, but it's also great for abstracting or simplifying your program. Once you write alphabetize, you don't ever have to think about how it works. You just call it whenever you need it. I feel like this lesson is a little strange. This method has nothing to do with alphabetizing. Yeah, anyway, it's just really weird because we didn't end off with the example that they started with. They also said that there wasn't a built-in way to reverse an alphabetized array in Ruby, but I'm pretty sure if I were to go like, okay, let's just make this an array of characters. So if I have B, Z, Y, no, whatever, C. Just call this letters. And run this code. Like, look, this works. Look, Z, Y, C, B. And then if I remove this, this also works. So I don't even need this method in the first place. I can just do letters dot sort reverse, and I'm guessing I probably don't need to do that. It works exactly the same. Oh no, that didn't work. Hang on. B, C, Y. What is letter? Oh, yeah, shoot. Delete that. So it puts this back to what I had before. This should work, right? Yeah. Z, Y, C, B. If I don't want to reverse it, I don't know. I don't understand the point of the lesson at all. But cool beans. Let's move on. Yeah, I don't know. That's the end of that one. It was pretty quick. Next up, looks like hashes and symbols. As we've seen, hashes are an important Ruby data structure. Here, we'll learn about the chunky bacon to hashes, eggs, symbols, or something. Cool. So that was episode number 10. Little confused about the point of the lesson. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it just didn't get a QA session after. Maybe the lesson was refactored or something. I don't know, but it really seemed confusing. But we got through it, so whatever. I am like really confused about why like I can have a function and I can mutate the value that I passed into that function, print it out to the console, and that works. But by adding an if statement inside that function, even if that if statement doesn't run, I don't have anything to output to the screen. It's really kind of puzzling to me. So for some of you maybe are better at Ruby than I am, maybe you could help me out. Let me know how this works down in the comments. Other than that, thanks for watching. Click that subscribe button. Give me a like if you like the video. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.